Y'all, this is unexpected. Not too long ago, we were surprised by a trailer for a new game from a franchise that a lot of us had either forgotten about, stopped talking about, or even just didn't know existed. Today, let's strap on our plate carriers as we talk about Delta Force Hawk Ops. And if you want to see more Delta Force content or more content from me in general, be sure to hit that sub button as we are so close to 1,000 subs. Okay? Let's continue. Now, to be brutally honest, I have no idea what this franchise even was, so I had to do a little bit of digging, and even though I can't find one general summary of the franchise, it seems like all of the games have something in common. Delta Force is a mil-sim first-person shooter that's loosely based on the actual Delta Force Spec Ops team. From what I'm seeing, your objectives across all the games normally involved either eliminating targets or saving civilians, but it varied differently through each game. The latest game to come out in the franchise before Hawk Ops was Delta Force Extreme 2 in 2009, and oh boy, that game was about as well received as someone getting told their tire got slashed. Then, 14 years later, without a single word from anybody, we finally see the trailer for Delta Force, and all of a sudden, you see a huge wave of people excited for this game. Upon first glance, there are a lot of things new about this particular title from the rest, and one of them being that it's not even made by the original developer NovaLogic anymore. In fact, THQ Nordic purchased its assets. So who the hell is making the game now? Well, the IP somehow found its way into the hands of TenCent, and now TiMi is working on the next Delta Force game. Now, let's look at what to expect from Delta Force Hawk Ops. Looking at their website, we've got three things to talk about: Hazard Operations, Havoc Warfare, and then the remastered Black Hawk Down campaign. Starting with Havoc Warfare, it's going to be a lot like your large-scale battlefield modes with various weapons, big maps, and intense firefights. In this game mode, you pick one of 4 classes, you can choose from a multitude of different vehicles like a tank or even a Black Hawk helicopter, and it totes that you can have combat take place on land, sea, or air. I'm sorry, let me go back a bit. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that they brought classes into the game. Shit. Much like 2042, this game is going to have classes, or basically operators, that all have their own abilities and quirky voice quips.
Recon arrow out.
Yeah, it makes me want to perforate my eardrums with an ice pick listening to this. Let's go ahead and run them down at least. We got B Colony, aka Roy Smee, who appears to be a medic of some sort. His main ability allows you to hook onto multiple teammates and give them stims. Not gonna lie, that doesn't sound awful. His tactical item is a Hive smoke screen, basically drones creating a smoke screen for you. Then his passive is Efficient Rescue, in which any player revived by him is at full health. I can see him being overused like the medic class was in BattleBit Remastered. I'm calling it now. The next operator is Luna, aka Luna Kim. From the looks of it, she's gonna be a recon class, as her main ability are arrows that track enemy movement. Reminds me a lot of the tracker perk in COD Mobile, actually. Anyone understand that? No? Okay, I'll just move on. Her tac item is a Volt Arrow, which deals electric damage to one specific area, and her passive is Smart Analysis, which tracks her enemies. I can definitely see her being used by people that don't want to actively engage in firefights, but still want to feel like they're doing something. She'll be great for people that like to shout comms at their team for the most part. I don't really see her being used a lot, except for that main reason. Next one on the chopping block is Direwolf, aka Kai Silva. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a goddamn name. Obviously, he's going to be your assault class. His main ability is going to be Overload Mode, in which not only does his movement and fire rate increase, his health does as well after each kill. His tac item is Triple Blaster, which shoots rockets out his wrist, and then his passive is Tactical Slides, which allows him to, well, slide. This is going to be another op that gets overused based off the abilities alone. Last but not least, we have Shepard, aka Terry Musa, who's going to be the support role. His main ability is Sonic UAV, which disrupts the enemy's recon arrows. That's interesting. His tac item is Sonic Trap, which slows down and damages enemies, and then his passive is Resonant Defense, which reduces damage from explosives. These operators, just off appearance alone, seem heavily influenced by 2042, and well, everyone knows how well that went for DICE. Spoiler alert. Not good at all. Moving on from Havoc Warfare and the operators, let's look at Hazard Operations. Hazard Operations allows you to plunder and strategize your way to victory, securing valuable resources with your team. In this mode, you form a versatile 3-man squad and make tactical decisions along the way. You also hunt for resources, rare loot, and blueprint crates while outwitting enemy AI and rival squads. Finally, your main goal is to extract with your loot and survive. If you haven't gotten the idea yet, this is basically your run-of-the-mill extraction royale mode. I know that not too long ago, we were in the battle royale era where everyone wanted to make their games have a battle royale. Now I feel like we're in the extraction royale era where if you don't add one to your game, you're basically putting it on life support the day it launches. I noticed that when companies tend to have more than just one form of PvP, one of those modes tend to either get under-supported or just straight up abandoned. Perfect example, DMC for Warzone 2.0. You had the community so excited to get something like this because it's never really been done in Call of Duty before, but Activision wouldn't piss on that game mode even if it were on fire. In fact, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please, I think they're in the process of actually phasing it out instead of finding unique and interesting ways to keep it going. Nonetheless, I'm not too sure how the Extraction Royale mode is going to fare in this game, but we can only see once it comes out. Finally, we have the Black Hawk Down remastered campaign, and this is where I have a confession to make, okay? I sort of lied. I played Black Hawk Down when I was a kid, but I remember that game as much as Joe Biden remembers what he's doing at any given moment. It shows off that there's gonna be iconic scenes, a classic storyline, and classic characters, all complete with better graphics. Not gonna lie, this part of the game looks damn good. It takes me back to that dark and gritty aspect of the campaign when I first played it. Right now, you can currently pre-register for Delta Force Hawk Ops on the website, and they currently have a stretch goal of 500k, 1 mil, 2 mil, 5 mil, and even 10 mil users registered with no release date mentioned at this time. They have a little bit over 100,000 people registered, so only time will tell if they hit these larger stretch goals. For my final thoughts, as much as I want to be excited for this game, I got some complaints that are mutually felt throughout the community. First things first, and this is probably the most split down the middle that I've seen the community get about so far, and it's how the game looks. They obviously ditched that 90s, 2000s era for a more futuristic era, and I don't know if that's gonna resonate with people as much as they want it to. Maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe they wanted to start something new, but this looks more like a watered down 2042 experience than anything. Second, it's no surprise that people aren't feeling the operators. I sure as hell don't like it, but it makes me ask the question, does this game need something like that to stand a chance? I think it would come down to if games in the same space are doing it and finding success, right? The answer is mostly no, obviously, but maybe if these are done right, it won't be that big of a deal. Third, the fact that this game is owned by TenCent means microtransactions are going to be a thing. You can be sure of that. But if you played any game owned by them, you know how batshit and loony these skins can get. My question is, are they going to stick to military-themed cosmetics, or are we going to see some shit we'd expect to see in COD Mobile? If they can make the game solid and make it play well, I don't have a problem. Listen, if I like it, I'll support it. But if the base game does not perform well, then good luck trying to sell those skins. Now I turn the mic to you. Let me know down below what you think about Delta Force Hawk Ops. And while you're down there, go ahead and smash that like button and revive that sub button also YouTube can show you my content free of charge. This is Sir Blackout signing off to go see if I can play the original Black Hawk Down. You know, it might be a fun time. Later.